Hey y'all, Kevin Hutchison here with Realty Austin, and I am grateful to be a part of Stories Inside the Man Cave, a homegrown podcast just like my own business.
Happy Sunday. That's the day of this broadcast here on episode 114. I'm bringing in a guy, and I hate to use the term aging, but I call it wisdom. His name is Mike Capps. He's been around the baseball industry and play-by-play. He played it, and he was actually in the media. We'll discuss that a little bit later. But Mike Capps, the voice of the Round Rock Express. Does this one of your career resume achievements that you'll be talking about the rest of your life, that you were inside the Man Cave podcast?
Let me explain to you what's going to happen to you, because you right out of the gate, used aging. Bye. Really, you're going to aging in the first freaking sentence. Yeah, I got the gray whiskers. I don't have much hair left.
I don't have any.
I don't know how much wisdom there is either, but that's what you got to work with. So get after it.
There's a lot to unpeel this multiple layers with Mike Capps. Since I returned to Austin, it's almost approaching a decade. I honestly knew about you when you came up on, I think, Oklahoma City, when the Express would play there. No, that was before they were AAA. But I had known about you. I had heard, and I was like, well, here we go. Our paths are crossing. First off, just to let everyone know, you and I are rivals. I'm a Stephen F. guy, and you're a Sam Houston guy.
I went to Sammy High.
Sammy High.
That's what the Aggies called it.
Is that because right down the road from College Station in Huntsville?
They're Aggies, so no, I love my Aggie friends, no problem.
No, I do too. We all have them. We all need Aggie friends to balance out our lives. That's the way it works.
You need to get your vaccination too.
Yeah,
it's sort of kind of the same thing.
Yeah, vaccines are extremely important. We're not going to judge, but everyone needs a vaccine.
Yes, ma'am.
As we move forward, and this is not political; it's just an opinion. No. Hey, episode 114 with the Mike Capps, brought to you by Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. Mike, first off, how do you sum up your life and how somehow that you've involved baseball, a passion of yours, for almost your entire life? That's to do anything that you're passionate about. It's pretty impressive, and it's not as easy as it would seem to have a passion like that for almost an entire life.
Well, it's genetic. My grandfather, my mom's dad, was going to have a chance, had he not been injured in World War I, to play for the Pittsburgh Pirates. But he actually gave me the game, and along with my dad. I lost my dad when I was 17, but my grandfather was there all the way through my college playing career, and neither he nor I knew that I was going to have a chance to sign a pro contract, and I did, and I blew it off. That's about a 3-beer story, but the bottom line to the whole thing, Sean, the game never left me, even in the days. I tell people this story; it's God's honest truth. The second time over during the Gulf War, covering it for CNN, I was in the mountains of northern Iraq, and they said, "Look, bring all sorts of camping gear because you're going to be camping outside on the mountain." And we were. Well, I brought 12 baseball books. And that's how I amused myself over 8 months being over there. So, but it never left. And to summarize all of it, we could take 5 of your podcasts and really not be finished with it, because so many people have been involved. So many people have helped me open doors. So many people have slammed doors in my face, but that's life. And well, it's true. And you learn from that, and you become, somebody asked me the other day, how old are you? I said, I'm 71 going on 35. And I really do feel that way. But the bottom line is, if you can't, it's like if you can't accept disappointment in this life, you're gonna have a rough life.
Yeah.
You really are. And I think the biggest summation of it is baseball came back to me at a time where I was really struggling. I had some psychological issues. I woke up in the middle of the night. I busted my head wide open.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get into therapy, and that was a lengthy situation that came out of great. But if you think there's not a God in heaven, let me just tell you, the therapist was a 4 tour of duty side gunner on a copter in Nam and a licensed Presbyterian lay minister. So, and I was already I was not done at CNN quite yet, but I got done pretty quickly thereafter and got out. Wrote a book with the scout who discovered Nolan Ryan, who ironically had scouted me in high school. And that's where the lengthy story comes in, because it's a crazy deal. But the bottom line was, we wrote that book, and boom, 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 that led to the broadcast booth, and away I went in 1996 after 25 years in the news business. So,
no, it's a natural fit. Hey, be sure to, if you're not already, you're probably watching this on our Facebook platform or YouTube, but follow us on Twitter at Stories Man Cave, and of course on Instagram, it's Stories Inside Man Cave, just like that. It's all jumbled up one word. I hate, that's the only thing I don't like about Instagram. But this man right here has, as you mentioned, you need about 4 or 5 episodes to tell his story. It's all interesting. My days in the media, and even sometimes now I'll sneak up to Dell Diamond in Round Rock for a game. And if you catch Cappy before a game, the stories, the humor, and there's scouts in the room up in that press box level, the stories. I mean, I know you're going to find
mostly true, Sean. They're mostly true.
Well, I would say you're right. There may be a few exaggerations. But you guys experience a rare moment with me. You know, I can't shut up long enough, but I'm pretty quiet usually when I'm up there because I'm listening. I'm fascinated by all these stories. And for you, that journey to Round Rock, as you mentioned, 1996, we can go all different directions, but what was it about the Express? Was it the Ryan family who lured you back, or lured you to Round Rock, and the baseball family?
Well, in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
Jay Miller and I, Jay was the original general manager out there, had been friends since the 80s. When I was a bureau chief for Channel 8 in Dallas's Fort Worth bureau, I'd get frustrated on Friday afternoons and call over. And I'd get 1 or 2 people on the phone. I'd either get Sandy Johnson, who was the assistant GM there with the Rangers in those days, or Jay. And they'd say, okay, who are you pissed off at today? And I'd tell them, they go, well, you know, we got a case ice down. Come on over. So this was in the mid 80s. So I'd been friends with Jay for years and years and years. And then I called him immediately after I left CNN, and I said, hey, I am getting into the baseball business. And he said, stay in touch with me. And I had already worked a year, 2 years, and then a year in independent ball, then a year at AAA, then 2 more seasons at AAA. And then he called me in October of 98. I was living in New York City then. And he said, what do you know about Round Rock, Texas? And I said, well, I know it's 15 miles north of Austin. He said, no, what do you know? I said, that's what I know about Round Rock, Texas. He said, well, the Ryan family is going to move a franchise from Jackson, Mississippi over there, and it's going to be AA. And I said, wait a minute, you're at AAA. You wanted me to come to work for you in New Orleans, remember? He said, don't worry about it. It's the Ryan family. It's going to be great. So he said, come out to the winter meetings in Anaheim. And so I flew across country, went to the meetings, and that's where we sealed the deal. The winter meetings in 98. So I worked another independent season in Atlantic City. And then in 2000, I was in Round Rock, and that's how I got there. And, you know, Reed I got a chance. I did a documentary on Nolan for Channel 8 in Dallas years ago, and met Reed and Ruth and Reese when they were young kids in Alvin. And actually watched Reed pitch in high school. And so, we had that to go on, and it's one of those things. First of all, they're such great people.
Right. Absolutely.
Secondarily, the operation was then, still is killer. I mean, you can go any place else in minor leagues and you're not going to see any better than night after night in Round Rock, Texas. It's just, and people will tell you that. I've got several friends on LinkedIn who either pitched or played there, and not necessarily for the Express, and they are still, and it has been some of them, it's been 20 years since they played there, but they're still glowing about what a place that's. Well, you ought to see it now. It's gotten even better. They go, no, those ballparks run down. No, they don't. No, that's another thing that the Ryans worked out with the city of Round Rock. We meet every year, we plan improvements, and they've done it. And it looks better now than it did when we opened in 2000. There's no question about it.
No, it's honestly, to me, listen, I love baseball, period, but I have this affection for minor league ballparks. I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. I've only seen 7. That's it. I was floored by Bricktown Ballpark in Oklahoma City.
It's great.
But they don't have that same let's reinvest in ourselves as the Express and the Ryans and the city of Round Rock have had.
Now I'm gonna get in your face a little bit about that, because the guy who's been the president of that team for the last 5 or 6 years, and his wife is they are baseball people. And, the Dodgers owned them until about a month and a half ago. And so the Dodgers helped them really move into the front offices of Oklahoma City power structure. And so they've begun to see, hey, we can make this place it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's located in the right place where we want it, in Bricktown, Oklahoma City. And so let's keep this thing going. And you've seen it, ancillary businesses, wine tasting places, beer joints, great restaurants. If you can't find it at Bricktown, it ain't worth going to. So, and really, so occasionally I've been known to go have a toddy or two.
Oh yeah,
places, and so they're great, and the ambiance is tremendous, and I think they're really coming on.
I think because I left November 30th, 2012. Kept in touch. I knew that there was a transition period before the Dodgers affiliation. I just knew right before I left that it was still nice. It's just they needed to reinvest into it, and
they did. It really, really looks. I mean, they've improved it. They've painted. They took that restaurant that was down the left field line, and they turned it into the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. And it's tremendous. They moved it from Guthrie, down to Bricktown, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
That one in Guthrie was phenomenal.
It was, but this is a whole different level, because you can look out and you see a baseball field. So that one in Guthrie, you looked out and you probably saw 2 guys beating on each other. So. No offense to Guthrie, but
Guthrie, no offense. We don't mean any harm. It's just
they were the state capital of Oklahoma at one time.
It was, and that's and in the middle of the night, it moved to Oklahoma City.
Well, so did the Colts to Indianapolis. So there you go.
That's right, Baltimore. So obviously, the ambiance and the experience at Dell Diamonds, phenomenal. Word of mouth is the best marketing. What do you see on the horizon for, just your opinion, not facts? Where do you see the Express going, and what do you see next for Dell Diamond? Do you buy into any of the rumors that some point down the line, a third MLB franchise will be added to the state of Texas?
You really are trying to get me fired, don't you?
No, I want you to.
Look. If you look at I'm not on I'm on a different pay grade.
Oh yeah,
people are that make those decisions, ownership and management. and I don't ask to be in those inner circles.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm good with the way this is. But if you look at where we sit in this country, if you look at the real numbers of how many people are between Georgetown and San Antonio, you're looking at 5 to 6 million people easily.
Crazy.
And so I'm don't know if we'll ever get one here.
Well,
There's nothing I can do about it. But if I was in charge of Major League Baseball ownership and I was looking really, I gotta be political about this.
Yeah, you do.
If I was looking for a spot in the country that's located size-wise and baseball fan-wise, knock it out of the park. It ain't Portland, Oregon. It ain't Charlotte. It ain't Nashville. Nashville's got 2 major league teams, and it's one thing to sell season seats for a 42 game or whatever it is home hockey season, or a 9 game NFL season, as opposed to 81 home games for the baseballs. That's just different. And think of all the businesses that have moved here just in the time you've been here in
5 years. Unbelievable.
Yes. And I mean, I don't know what you want. Montreal, get out of here. They did that once.
They tried.
No offense, but great city, clean city, just like Toronto is, and great people. Baseball, doggone sure not in April or May. And then, they just turned down doing that split city thing between Tampa and Montreal. Major League Baseball
like that idea.
was ill fated from the beginning if you use common sense. But let's put it like this: it's going to be fun to watch to see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
I can't think of a better operating group to open up one, a better known. I mean, here you have the ex-business president for the Houston Astros, who knows this game, knows the business side of it better than anybody. Anybody better? He's nobody better than Reed Ryan. So I mean, what do you need if you're baseball? What do you need to see? What is it?
It's right here.
But again, I'm really prejudiced, and I don't know what's going on. And people ask me that question all the time, and I say, "You are asking me to go play in traffic on 35 on Friday afternoon, aren't you?" So I ain't playing in no traffic, but yeah.
I'll say this because I can, and I want to respect the fact that you listen. You're an asset to them. The Express and I know that you're grateful that's a part of you.
No.
But Reed, Reese, and Nolan, that entire family, on the next level of knowing how to deal with people.
Yes.
Yes. I'll say this: Round Rock, Texas, should be home to an MLB franchise because of the land space. There's already that infrastructure of highway. You don't have to worry about I-35 because you got 130. But I just think one day it's either going to be there or somewhere in between Austin and San Antonio. I'm not a big fan of this soccer model. No offense to the Austin FC. A lot of people love it. I'm glad it's here. I just think baseball is the only pro of the big 3 that would work here.
No, Major League.
Yeah.
We're professional, remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
And soccer is, let me tell you, they're on their way to becoming a really big force.
Yeah, they are.
As a marketing tool, as an entity, because so many kids have now my kids who are in their 40s played soccer coming up, and they all have kids who are playing soccer. So that's how you grow this stuff. in Major League Baseball should be watching this and saying, we need to grow this. And they've got RBI in the inner cities, our RBI bunch in Austin.
I love
they
that.
are the best. And at the end of the day, they're doing the best they can, but we just can't get enough to get baseball back in inner cities and get a larger contingent of young black players. Stop and think about the common sense of this. Okay, so you get no guaranteed contracts in the NBA or NFL, right? And the NFL, far and away, is a more dangerous sport
Yes.
than baseball or basketball. And had a long chat with a friend of mine, Deacon Jones, who is one of the special assistants to the guy who runs Sugarland. And Deacon and I have been friends for years and years. He used to be the hitting coach in Houston years ago. And he says right flat out, if baseball doesn't do this, make it more attractive and share the message that you got a pension that's second to none. Yeah. You have guaranteed contracts. Use your athleticism where you can use it for 15, 18, sometimes 20 years instead of the average, what is it, 4.5 years for an NFL player or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that.
Or window.
If you aren't caught on the sidelines and maimed by 200-300-pound animals coming at you at warp speed, I mean, no bueno.
It's a different ball game, literally, as far as the physicality of it. I was going to talk to you, but I do want to make an extension of what you said. You mentioned the RBI Austin folks. Of course, there's a few of those chapters across the country.
They're great.
I'm on the mentorship side of that, but I agree with you 100%. Matt Price, Justin Simmons, Cat Osterman, that entire group, it would take
Christy
Becker, all of them.
Christy Record, she's awesome.
Every one of these people. Galindo. I mean, so we have a tremendous board. We have another layer of trustees, if you will, who do the planning.
Yeah.
It is the best, hands down organization that I have ever aligned with. And Cappy, the other night we had, I think you've been there. I think you spoke at it before.
Absolutely.
At the Now at Bat. Are you ready for this number? That night, this last Thursday, we set a record, I believe. We raised over $802,000 that night.
What I say? You can see this coming. And somebody told me about a year ago that there are 64 or 65 ex-Major League players that live within 45 minutes of our ballpark. And I believe that now.
Yeah.
I haven't, Karen and I chose not to go. We're not quite ready to mix and mingle in a big crowd, but we have before and we will again. But nobody does that better than they do it. And with all those ex-Major League players around here, I mean, there's a bunch of Bud Norris who used to pitch for us out here and then pitched the big leagues for several teams. I mean, Ian Happ lives here in Austin now. There's a ton of guys, man, and recognizable Major League names.
Oh yeah.
And first of all, it's great to have them because I have several of them that come on as color analysts with them. But end of the day, sorry NFL, sorry NBA, the best guys to deal with. There's two best guys. There's Major League Baseball players and NHL hockey players. Basically the same kind of dude. And one goes flying a little bit faster on skates but they all, I mean, they'll sit there and drink a beer with you and laugh and holler, and they're the only people that can come close to telling the lies that we tell in baseball. And it's awesome.
Baseball conversations in a clubhouse or dugout are the most unique. Now, I've been in some hockey locker rooms on the minor league level.
Well,
that was
just different.
It's different. It's similar.
It's not like the NBA. It's not like the NFL.
Oh my God.
It's just different, and it's good different.
Yeah, it's more throwback of America. It's more,
it is. It is. Look, it's. Gosh, here again, I got to be political. You like to see real people doing real things.
That's what it is.
And that's, to me, I got a phone full of guys that came through here either as who played for us or played on other teams, and I call them up and I can talk to. It's like, try that with your average NBA player. No offense. Try it with your average NFL player. See how quickly you can get through.
Yeah.
But
Or even a free agent.
Hey, Cappy, what are you doing there? Are you still old? Yeah, shut up.
You're still old. My kind of peeps.
Yeah.
Cappy, one thing, you see it a lot on Twitter nowadays with the hashtag. You see it in discussions. Oh, you hear it. You don't see it. You hear it in discussions. When you hear the term baseball family, what does that mean to you? How do you describe that to somebody?
I pray for mine every night. And I'm not those same people that I'm telling you about. I mean, I could start right now. And again, I'd need 4 shows to get through the names. I mean, front office people, clubhouse people, guys who once worked in a clubhouse and now are scouts, like Gene Watson and his ilk. It's the 200 and something names, just baseball people in this phone. I mean, and beep, 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 same old thing. It turns out into being a BS session for an hour. But hey, in this day and time when we're all divided in this country and our egos are sticking out and we're hating on people, which we should never do. We should be loving on people.
Yeah.
My baseball family is what a blessed relief to call one of them up. The oldest one is 96 years old, the original voice of the Texas Rangers, Bill Mercer, who's done games for me down here.
I've been in his presence. I've never had an opportunity.
Well, he's a piece of work, boy. Karen and I were looking through some pictures that were made at my dad's deer camp when I was like a 7th grader or something. And they're Bill and his sons. Bill's got a cigar hanging out of his mouth. And then we got a picture. Bill decided he got caught. He got caught in a deer stand way up high. It was 17 degrees. Well, Bill's 5'6". Well, he says 5'7", sorry, but whatever.
Hey, I'm the same way.
So he can't get down. They had to bring a winch truck out through the woods to get him down, okay? So now he gets pissed off. And he had a 30-06. He had his Navy pea coat from World War II on and about a 3-day growth of beard and one of those Russian-looking hats that had ear flaps on it. He takes off up through the woods. My dad says, "You better go." I said, "I'm not going anywhere near him. He's angry. He may just accidentally shoot whatever moves." So, man, there were about 12 people sitting around a campfire. And it wasn't, I'm telling you, it wasn't 5-7 minutes. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, you can hear him. And he's way on up in the woods. And he comes back, and he's got the big smile on his face. He's got the ear flaps pulled up on that hat. He's got his 30-06. He's marching into camp like this, and he's got the biggest raccoon I have ever seen, and he has torched that thing, hit him 3 times, and what you have is a big tail, and you can see the ears, and everything else is sort of just goo, okay?
Eey.
My dad said, "Put the gun down."
It's time to release the trigger. Finger.
Bill Mercer was one of those guys. My dad died when I was 17, and Bill was broadcasting the Ice Bowl game in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Found out about it at halftime, had some extra clothes. Instead of going home to see his family, he got in the car and came down and was with us for about a week. That's what I'm talking about. Bill was a minor league broadcaster before he ever became the Texas Rangers voice. In Muskogee, Oklahoma, Dallas-Fort Worth Rangers AAA, Dallas-Fort Worth Spurs, and he's planning on coming down and doing a game with me this year.
Man, let me know. I will be.
I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's in an assisted living center in McKinney. But he's got his mind. The voice is still great. If you ever heard him on wrestling, and I just love to gig him about wrestling. That's a whole different. That he should write a whole book on that. But it's one of those things where if there's a way he can crawl down from McKinney, he's going to come. So, and
was he related to the humorous talent in Oklahoma, Roy D. Mercer?
No, and he takes Bill's from Muskogee. He was raised in Muskogee, but no. He said, but Bill says, well, that's the way a whole lot of us were in Oklahoma in those days. Right. If any of your man cave guys or ladies want a couple of giggles, it's a different kind of humor now. Different kind of humor, but it's
Roy D. Murphy.
Oh, good Lord!
I bust a pop knot on your forehead.
I've never heard that anywhere else but Oklahoma.
Oh, that's the only place. That is the only place. So you sent me an email and I read it, and I love anything to do with the history of baseball. This one right here, you tag team, you had a co-author of book, so to speak. Baseball's Intrepid Infantry Grinders.
Yeah.
A summation or summary of this book that you have.
This is easy to summarize.
Yeah.
And it's just flipped up. It's Grinders, Baseball's Intrepid Infantry.
Oh, okay. So that's all.
And the manuscript just went to the publisher and will be out with it at All-Star break. Okay. If anybody can relate to being a grinder, okay? Wow. Because here's the deal. Who do you think represents the biggest number of players in big league baseball or minor league baseball?
Who?
Superstars. It's grinders. It's guys who are up and back.
That's a great point.
Just to give you a hint about it, my grandfather is the one who got me off on this. We were watching a game at Old Burnett Field, and that field was torn down in 1965 when they built what turned out to be Arlington Stadium. It was First Turnpike Stadium, and the Dallas-Fort Worth Spurs played there. But we're out there watching the game, and he points to the guy in left field. Well, Minneapolis Millers are in there. This AAA team in the American Association. Left fielder was Carl Yastrzemski.
Oh.
My father says, you got to watch this guy. He's going to be something. Well, he turned out to be my grandfather played and had a chance to play pro ball and didn't because he got lost hearing in an ear in World War I. But he said, and I looked on his score sheet and he's got all these checks beside other guys' names. What's that? He said, these guys, you'll see their names in box scores in Boston and in Kansas City. Kansas City A's in those days were the Rangers. He said, you'll see their names back and forth between Dallas and Kansas City, Boston and Minneapolis. He said, those are the guys that they are the engine that drives baseball's bus. Sean, that stuck with me for 62 years, we've been doing this 4 years, 58 years. That's where grinders came from. And these are guys that go back and forth and up and down.
Yeah.
And we have 10 ex-Round Rock Express players who we've profiled of the 43. The stories are incredible. And I did 2 years of research before I started to write this thing just to see if anybody had ever written on this subject. No, every superstar in the world
has a book
about him.
Yeah.
There's nothing on grinders. And this thing is it's just exploded. And people are going to say, well, how about this guy? We're not telling you we're putting the only grinders in a book. Chuck Hartenstein, who passed away in October, is the co-author. And because his family and my family have been tied together ever since he signed with the Cubs in the 60s out of UT. Look him up. He's still in the College World Series record book for ERA. So, and Chuck passed away, but I'm going to keep his name on any other books I write, grinders wise, and we have 2 more planned after this original one. simply because he's just been a family friend. My cousin signed him for the Cubs, and Joyce, his wife. They're just wonderful people, baseball people.
Yeah.
That's where the idea came from, and we're really excited about it. It's I can give your folks a way to look at the page. It's a preemptive page. If you might want to write this down in case anybody asks you.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me get the pen.
Stony Creek,
Huh?
STONEY, Stony Creek Publishing.com /grinders .html. HTML. Stony Creek, that's STONEY Creek,
Publishing.com.
grinders.html. And this is the page shows you how to pre-order, and so you're going to be.
I'm gonna for you, my friend. I'm gonna create, if I can get my graphics software back up. I've had a problem with it in the past 24 hours. I want to create something.
Did you slip and fall in a drunken stupor into your machine or something?
Well, I wish I had a story like that, because I was at the Shoal Creek Saloon yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, their gumbo there, it's crawfish season.
Oh yeah.
Of it. I didn't have that. I ate a lot of crawfish in my day, but now it's just too much maintenance, too much. So I go for the large bowls of gumbo. It's phenomenal. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a reminder as I promote this episode. We're going to create a page.
Well, I appreciate you doing that.
No, I think it's no, you're more than welcome. Those types of books. And I want to show you a book real quick. She is a very, very special. You probably know about her story. It's I want to give her the link because she is a huge baseball fan, and she's been on Stories Inside the Man Cave. Survivor of 2 forms of cancer. She's about 5 years younger than me. Has her PhD. Was a UT professor. Her mom. She and her mom. Their dream was she grew up in New Orleans, was to visit all the major league ballparks. So,
well, I've heard about this lady.
Okay, yeah, this is her book, and I've got
yes. Yep,
yeah, there we go.
That's the one.
You talk about a unique read as far as how it's presented. Beautifully done. I can't wait to read yours, Grinders.
Well, it'll be out in July, so
we're going to start promoting this bad boy. I don't know how we're going to make this transition, but we do have a new partnership, Cappy. It's called MANSCAPED.com. You have some big name athletes. You have just little pebbles of salt like me and in this podcast. But to save Cappy, wasted moments of his life or of us having the conversation about it, because I don't think we would be able to get through the conversation and seriously talk about manscaping. I'm going to show him this. Yeah, we're covering about every topic imaginable here at Man Stories Inside the Man Cave, including manscaping. Manscaped.com is so popular that they have their own periodical, a newspaper. In their top headline, "We Save Balls," is pretty popular nowadays. And, they really attracted me. So much so that I love the products. And they sent me this entire package I'm going to show you. Well, the premier products of this box I just showed you, the Performance Package 4.0, this bad boy, the Lawnmower 4.0. Take a listen. That is the sound of absolutely tremendous manscaping in the man cave. So today, as you're watching this episode, I encourage you to jump on to manscaped.com and look for the Performance Package 4.0. You'll get the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. It is smooth, and you just feel like a piece of silk afterwards, and you feel clean. Personally, Let me show you what I love the most. Right here, the ball deodorant. I know the light's a little bright here, but the ball deodorant, it smells like sweet mahogany and pheromones.
Okay. All right.
Feedback?
Whoa, stop. You're killing me here. Okay. So these are the kind of balls I say. Texas League. Okay. See, Texas League. Right there. How about this? American Association when it was a AAA league. I broadcast in Nashville.
Wow.
Look at that.
Those are nice balls, Cappy.
Hang on. Pacific Coast League. 15, 16 years, then they did away with it. Major League Baseball did. Hey, look at that. See,
they had a great run. There it is.
Northern League. In the Northern League, independent ball. That was in 98. Yes, sir. And Atlantic League, which is still operating. It's an independent league back east. Yes, sir.
That is so cool. That is really cool.
Those are the balls that I want to be known as saving. Okay.
Don't put that ball deodorant on those balls.
I don't think you have to worry about that. Okay. All this other stuff I could have said. This is what will get me run off. Excellent. I can't wait.
You can't win.
How did they get rid of you? Well, you just Manscaped and
Cappy, I think this part of the last part of the first segment was made for you. The Man Cave story brought to you by Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. If there's one story that you love talking about from the clubhouse, broadcasting booth, or your interaction along the road or other places, what is that story that your go-to story that you love to share?
I've got a million of them that I can't tell you.
I had a feeling.
One I can tell you, and it involves. Wait, let me ask you. Jim Saxton, is he kin to James Saxton?
That's him. That's his daddy.
Dad? Okay, all right. His many stories about James Saxton. Love the guy. He used to go to Rotary with me here in downtown.
Is that right?
God rest his soul. Okay, so Jackson Ryan is now 21 years old.
Yes, great guy.
He's pitched in D3 with cerebral palsy. He's one of my heroes in life, and he is the closer for this book where I'm writing. Okay, and the story is incredible. Jackson Ryan is 9 years old, and Jackson is doing analyst work for me. He does not realize or is not paying attention that his grandfather, his grandmother, his mom, and dad are seated outside where the radio piped into them from their booth. As you've been in there, it's right next to my broadcast booth is right next to Nolan and Ruth, or whoever the guests are, and it's been that way since we remodeled the top and put the press box up on the third floor. Well, so we had a big time pizza conglomerate as a sponsor. I mean, they sponsored fence signage, radio, blah, blah. And one of the things they promoted was scoreboard updates brought to you by Blank Pizza. And Jackson's got his headsets on. He's listening. I said, whatever it is, pizza, it's a favorite pizza of the Round Rock Express and of Jackson Ryan. Nope, he says. And I'm looking at him going like, dude, they're a big sponsor. Well, we look up and Reed is charging out of his seat, and you can hear him on our headsets. Jackson Ryan, blank pizza may not be your favorite, but it is now. There may not be a location near you, but it's your favorite pizza. Jackson looks at me, and he takes his headsets off, and you can hear all this on the air. Cappy, I think I have to go. He says, I might be back tomorrow. And Reed, the door bursts open, and Reed just going after him. And Jackson, there he's toddling off, man. And one of the things he asked me about when I told him I was going to do a profile on him in this book, he said, please don't tell that story. Oh no. You first of all, you already committed. We're not putting any caveats on this because it's too good. I mean, that kid, he's wonderful, and you know what? His ambition in life is to be a major league general manager. He's going to.
He can do it. He's
gonna
sharp young man.
He is a baseball savant.
And he's quite an ambassador to Mary Hardin Baylor University.
Yes, he is too.
And
yes, he is too.
God, the facilities over
Pitch
there.
at D3, and he has cerebral palsy. That's just amazing to me.
Yeah, we got it. We're going to get him on the inside the man cave.
Really have to do that. He's just special.
He's. I look forward to seeing him every time. Hey, I saw him at the RBI dinner the other night, and just that whole family, just a bunch of good human beings. Yeah, fine Americans, if you will.
Yep.
It's we're going to take a quick break. Segment 2 will be very quick, but more storytelling from our guy here, Mike Capps. Long time everything. Play baseball.
I ain't dead yet.
No, you got about a good 30, 40 years left.
I'll take 20 and see you in the morning. How about that?
See you in the morning and a cup of coffee. Hey, we're going to talk the Rangers organization a little bit, and maybe if Cappy is warm and willing, he will fill us in on some ballpark stories that he has encountered along the way. That's coming up on the other side of this break. For all of your insurance needs, look no further than our primary sponsor, Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. The ATX OG has been insuring Austin for over 3 decades. And get this, Jim Saxton is a Longhorn legacy. He is the son of the late, great James Saxton, who was a Heisman finalist. Be sure to give him a call, or better yet, visit his website, saxtoninsurance.com, and tell him that the stories inside the Man Cave Boys recommended you. Hey, welcome back. Look at this, Cappy. We're kind of off to the left here. But you know what? You said this was about 9 years ago.
No. It's been about, listen, that he was 12 then.
Okay.
7 years ago.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't aged. I'm just being honest. That's you doing your play-by-play duties. I believe it looks just like it is Dale Diamond.
It is.
Because I see the Rudy's Cup. Good sponsor. Good food, underrated barbecue. You have experienced quite a few moments in that press box. By the way, segment 2 here brought to you by FarmhouseDelivery.com. It's a ATX based. They source organic meat, organic produce from the great state of Texas. And if you use the promo code after ordering either your meal kits, meats, produce boxes on FarmhouseDelivery.com, use the promo code MANCAVE. You get 20% off of your first order. And who is this? Who has joined us?
This is my number 2 fan. My wife Karen is my number 1. This is Archie.
Archie
is the dog walkingest best boy in the world. Rescued from you were rescued from a place in Pasadena, Texas, weren't you?
Wow.
Your mom found you online 5 years ago. He's the best, boy. He goes everywhere with us. He's a good front door dog, guards the front door. Look at him.
Archie. Hey, Arch. He's a good old boy.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Okay. So you want to hear a press box story?
A press box story.
All right. Now I'm going to try to leave out all the cussing that went on. This was in our first AAA year, I believe. And the games were played back on cable channel 10 in Round Rock, okay? So what do you think the umpires did instead of going to work out or going to chill out? They watched the previous night's game on cable channel 10. And I have never backed off of saying that if I see, I don't go after umpires unless both benches are going after them.
Right.
And I don't go after them like both benches go. I just point it out. Well, the previous night's game had about 6 missed calls on the bases, and the strike zone was from top of your eyeballs to top of your shoes, up and down,
Wow.
and from Hutto on the one side to Georgetown on the next. I mean, it was just saying all over the place. Okay. So I'm walking in about 3:00. About 3:03, the door bursts open, and it's one of the umpires. It's the crew chief. I'm looking for Mike Capps. I said, "You're looking right at him, dude. What's your problem? And first of all, what are you doing up here? You have no business in the press box. And if I call the league president, the president of my team, you're going to be and say, you're the most." I can't do this without cussing. I mean, he really was cussing the heck out of him. And I said, you know what? If both benches are going after you, there's a reason. If you've pissed off both sides, you're just too negative. You're just too negative. I said, yeah, and you're too short. Get out of here. So I said, I'm going to go down and see the president of our team, and we're going to talk this over. I'm not going. I said, yeah, well, so shows how gutty you are. Well, went on, and I finally said, you have to leave or I'm going to call the cops, one or the other. You know what you want to do. So he left. And then I had a discussion with our folks, and they had a discussion with the league folks, and that fella got a few days off. And I like them. I've had great friends who were umpires. I don't know if you remember the name Durwood Merrill, great American League umpire for years and years and years. Dear friend. Lost him way too early. And they're great people, and so many of them really do give their heart and soul.
Yeah.
But there's a group now that just they want to be the show, and they're not, and that's frustrating. And but that's about as good as I have.
You are well versed on baseball history, and we're in a time frame I think you can agree with that we're still integrating several parts of America. And so, I went to Anderson, the newer one, and there's old Anderson that was on the east side.
Yes.
So I've been what little I've done, I've tried to tell stories to helping and connect, but there is a faction, a pretty good group of people, Anderson parents involved in athletics, who have made a tremendous effort. The one I want to talk about is the Willie Wells event that's coming up next Saturday. So they're going to rename the field after him at the current Anderson High School.
I think that is awesome.
And
awesome.
It almost makes me, a little hesitant. Just like I don't know what to say. It's moving. And
well, it's I'm glad to see Anderson do that. I live right down the street from him.
Yeah.
And look, one of the profiles we did in this book was on the Hairston family, Sam Hairston Sr. And there's 9 of them play professional baseball, 5 major leaguers. And they've got Sam's great grandsons are coming, and they're probably going to be the baseball's first 4 generational family. Well, I have a particular affinity for the Negro Leagues because my great grandmother was black, number one. And number 2 is I just know so many people who have come out of those leagues. Some of them are gone now.
Yeah.
And how American baseball fans got cheated out of seeing some of the best all-time players, just Josh Gibson, double duty Ratcliffe. I mean, guys that nobody ever heard of really, but should have been household names in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Ernie Banks and Hank Aaron came out of those leagues. A lot of guys came out. But those guys, the last 2 I mentioned, were among the last to be signed by Negro leaguers to be signed by major leagues. And end of the day, and Hank Aaron had the home run record, and Ernie Banks probably was the best hitting shortstop ever. But those weren't the best players ever in the Negro leagues. And in deference to how great they were in Major League Baseball. I mean, we're going to make a trek to Kansas City to the Negro League Hall of Fame just because Bob Kendrick is a friend, the guy who runs it, and I'm so excited they're doing this. Now, where is this going to be?
It's going to be at the Anderson High School baseball field. Bob will be there.
Kendrick will be?
Yeah, Bob Kendrick. Yeah, that when if he's there, it's a big deal.
Oh, that is awesome.
And
it says he's speaking.
Yes.
Hey, Ben, tell me something good.
You might recognize that voice, Cappy, the son of Mike Hard's his youngest son.
Oh, my.
Perfect kid, perfect voice talent for that. So, yeah, tell me something good, brought to you by Kevin Hutchison of Realty Austin. My brother, what would you say would be good in your world that you've seen that gives everyone hope? Or should be positive?
It's hard to stray away from the announcement you just made at Anderson. I mean, that's heavy duty stuff. No matter how they got there, and that I levitated a little bit after I saw that.
I got to give a big shout out to a friend of mine. I know there's a lot of people who are responsible for that. But John Fiddler, I think you may know him.
Mm-hmm. I've heard him. I don't know him, but
played baseball at the University of Iowa. Moved his family here, and he may kill me for this, but I think I should know. Dental recruiting business that he operates and runs of his own. That's what he's in, but loves baseball. He was in that Arizona Diamondbacks organization when they won the World Series with Zeke and I think Randy Johnson, all those guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just a great guy, knowledgeable. You guys would sit and talk for hours. There's no doubt. But he's responsible for this Willie Wells situation, this whole event. And
that's tremendous.
He spearheaded.
The only other good thing, the other good thing, besides the fact it's sun shining and
beautiful,
60 degrees on this Sunday afternoon. On March the 1st, our minor leaguers line up to start spring training out in Surprise, April the 5th, 7:05 start, El Paso Chihuahuas, Round Rock Express. Tickets will go on sale soon. Season tickets are always on sale.
I can't wait. Baseball always infuses some positivity.
Yeah, it does.
When you need it.
Yeah, it does.
When you really need it. It's I cannot wait. I'll tell you something good before we wrap this up. There's a lot of people still on edge as I get it about what's going on. But like Cappy said, it's sun shining. And that's what we're heading into probably the most beautiful stretch of weather. Maybe more so in March in this great city of Austin, this whole Austin area. We're getting close to that March and April zone where it is just absolutely stunning here. And we're the envy of a lot of places across the country. I know there's a lot of people who watch or listen to this across the country, but the fact that baseball season is that close, if you have issues, just go to a game. You'll leave there. You'll have those issues resolved more than likely. After a baseball game.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Cappy, it has been fun. I know it would require probably quite a few more episodes to get all those stories in. But, man, we are excited about your book. And I look forward to seeing you at these games and watch you in the booth as well.
Okay, buddy. Take care of yourself.
Hey, buddy. Have a great day. And for the OG man inside the store, stories inside the Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Harge, Big Mike, and Coach Mo. And for the legend himself, Mike Caps, We are out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.